I gave up my job to help them move states for his promotion. When I got there, my son-in-law told me, "Don't expect to be treated special just because you're her father." The guest room was a mattress on the garage floor. I slept next to a lawn mower until I overheard him say, "She's just waiting to die anyway." That's when I wrote one letter that turned everything around. I'm a 67-year-old man from Akron, Ohio. I've lived a quiet life. Spent over 4 decades working for the same auto parts warehouse. Raised my daughter Kelly after her mom died of breast cancer. I've always tried to do right by her, even when it cost me. I didn't complain. I wasn't perfect, but I did my best. Kelly's been married for about 7 years. Her husband, Wes, never liked him. From day one, something about him rubbed me the wrong way. He's one of those guys who talks too much, smiles too wide, and never looks you straight in the eyes. But Kelly loved him, so I bit my tongue. They have a son now, Mason. He's 5. Sweetest little guy you've ever seen. Every time I saw him, he'd yell, "Grandpa," and run at me full speed. That boy gave me something to live for after my wife died. About 6 months ago, Kelly called me up out of the blue. Said Wes got a big promotion. His company was moving him from Columbus to Austin, Texas. It was a big deal, apparently, new salary, company car, paid relocation. She sounded excited but also stressed. Said they needed help with the move. Mason was a handful and Wes was too busy with work to do anything. She asked if I could come out for a while, help pack, watch Mason, help them settle in. She said, "Just for a month or 2, Dad. I really need you." At the time, I was working part-time at the local hardware store, just stocking shelves and keeping busy. I had a small apartment, nothing fancy. Gave me peace of mind. I wasn't rich, but I was comfortable. I liked my routine. Still, I thought helping my daughter and grandson would be worth the disruption. I put in my notice, canceled my utilities, packed what little I had into 3 boxes, and booked a one-way ticket. Nobody met me at the airport. I waited at baggage claim for almost 20 minutes before Kelly showed up in a rental SUV. No hug, no smile, just a quick, "Come on, Wes is waiting." The ride was quiet. I asked about Mason, about the new house. She gave short answers, barely looking up from her phone. I figured she was just tired from the move. When we pulled up to the house, my jaw dropped. It was a big 2-story place in a rich neighborhood. Fresh landscaping, brick driveway, wraparound porch. I actually felt happy for them. Thought maybe this promotion really was a fresh start. We walked in and Wes was sitting on the couch with his feet up, drinking a beer. He didn't get up. He looked at me and said, "Don't expect to be treated special just because you're her father." I honestly thought he was joking. So I laughed a little and said, "Well, nice to see you too." He didn't laugh. They showed me around the house quickly. Kelly pointed to the laundry room, the kitchen, then said, "You'll be sleeping in the garage." I thought she meant temporarily. But no. She opened the garage door and pointed to a stained twin-size mattress on the floor between the lawnmower and some half-unpacked boxes. No pillow, no fan, just a sheet balled up at the foot. I said, "This is the guest room?" Wes walked by and muttered, "What do you expect for free rent?" I wanted to leave right then. But Mason came running out of the house, yelling, "Grandpa," and jumped into my arms. That hug kept me there. The days that followed were rough. They treated me like an employee. I woke up early to get Mason ready for daycare, made breakfast, took out the trash, unpacked boxes, and put together furniture. Every day, Wes had a new task. "The fence needs painting. Can you trim the bushes? We need shelves put up in the garage." Not once did he say thank you. He'd leave in the morning in the company car and come home after dark. He never asked how I was or offered to help. Kelly wasn't much better. She was always on edge, always defending him. Said he was under a lot of pressure. One afternoon, I was cutting the backyard with a rusty push mower they'd found at a garage sale. It was over 100 degrees. I nearly passed out from the heat. Came in drenched in sweat. Wes looked at me and said, "You missed a spot near the fence." That night, I lay on the garage mattress, my back screaming, my skin itchy from the heat and mosquito bites. I could hear them upstairs, laughing. I felt invisible. Then came the moment that changed everything. I had gone to the kitchen late one night to get some water. I tried to stay quiet so I wouldn't wake anyone. But as I was heading back to the garage, I heard them talking upstairs. Wes said, "She's just waiting to die anyway. It's not like he has a life to go back to." Then Kelly laughed. I stood there frozen, my ears ringing. That's how they saw me. Just dead weight. A walking burden. I didn't confront them that night. I went back to the garage, laid down on that damn mattress, and stared at the ceiling. Couldn't sleep. I felt something boiling inside me. Rage, hurt, embarrassment, and worst of all, shame. Shame that I let them treat me like this. But I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I wrote. I pulled out my notebook and started writing everything down. Word for word. What Wes said. What Kelly laughed at. How I was treated. Every chore. Every insult. Every ignored moment. I turned it into a letter. A real one. Not to them, but to the HR department at Wes's company. I looked them up online, found the name of a regional director, and mailed it directly. I didn't exaggerate. I didn't make threats. I told the truth, plain and detailed. I thought maybe they'd ignore it. They didn't. 3 days later, a woman from corporate HR called me. She asked me to confirm a few things. She said it wasn't the first complaint about Wes's behavior, that he had a file already, that they appreciated my honesty. I didn't hear anything else until the next week. That was the day Wes came home early. He slammed the door, stomped through the house, and screamed at Kelly. I stayed in the garage, listening. I got fired because of your pathetic old man. Kelly came down to the garage in tears. What did you do? She asked me. I just looked at her and told the truth. And that was only the start. After Wes got fired, things in that house got real bad, real fast. I wasn't expecting him to be friendly, but I wasn't ready for what came next. He didn't leave the house, didn't look for other work either, just sulked around like a big, angry kid. He drank more, started snapping at Kelly in front of Mason, slammed doors, cursed at the TV, blamed everyone but himself. At first, Kelly defended him, said it was just a phase, said he was under stress. But then I started noticing the bruises, small ones at first, a mark near her wrist, a cut on her lip she blamed on a cabinet door. I'd seen stuff like this before. Back in the factory, one of the guys had a daughter in a situation like that. I never forgot the look in his eyes when he told me he wished he'd done more sooner. I didn't say anything right away. I waited, watched. Then one morning, Mason ran into the garage crying. "Mommy's hurt," he said. "Daddy's yelling." I rushed into the kitchen and found Kelly on the floor, holding her cheek. Wes stood over her, red in the face, breathing hard. He didn't see me walk in. I didn't think. I grabbed the closest thing, a broom, and swung it hard at his shoulder. He staggered back and yelled, "You old piece of sh*t." I didn't care. I stepped in front of Kelly and said, "You touch her again and I'll end you." He laughed. Said, "You? You can't even walk upstairs without groaning." Kelly pulled on my arm, begging me to stop. Said it wasn't worth it. But the damage was done. Wes packed a bag and stormed out. Said he was going to a friend's place. Said we were all dead to him. I thought that would be the end. But a week later, Kelly got a letter. It was from a lawyer. Wes was filing for divorce and demanding full custody of Mason. Said she was emotionally unstable and living with an elderly dependent. He even wrote that I was hostile and possibly violent. Used the broom incident as proof. Kelly broke down when she read it. Said, "I don't know how he can twist it like that. I don't know what to do." I did. I called a woman I used to work with. Her niece was a family lawyer in Ohio. She gave me her number. I called her, told her the whole story. She said, "Move back to Ohio. Now, with the kid. File first. You have proof, and if he wants to play dirty, we'll bury him." So we did. We packed our bags in the middle of the night. I drove the U-Haul while Kelly followed behind with Mason in her car seat. We didn't tell anyone. Left the garage mattress behind. Left the Texas heat, the big house, the poison life. Back in Akron, I got us into a small 2-bedroom rental near my old neighborhood. Kelly filed for emergency custody the same day we arrived. The lawyer was sharp, tough. She didn't take any crap. We had text messages, voicemails, photos of the bruises, my letter, her hospital report from the night he pushed her into the kitchen counter. But Wes wasn't done. He started showing up at Kelly's work, sent Mason gifts in the mail, even followed them home once. I had to threaten him through the screen door while holding a baseball bat just to get him off the property. We filed a restraining order. He violated it within a week. The police got involved. Turns out he had priors. Things Kelly didn't even know about: an old bar fight that landed someone in the hospital, unpaid fines, driving under suspension. He wasn't just a jerk. He was dangerous. But the courts moved slow and the pressure kept building. Then something happened that pushed it all to the edge. One night, I came home from the store to find the front door wide open. Kelly was upstairs, crying. Mason was hiding in the closet. Wes had broken in while I was gone. He didn't hurt anyone, but he trashed the place. Threw photos on the floor. Smashed Mason's toy box. Wrote "liar" in marker across the fridge. We called the police. They arrested him a few hours later, drunk and hiding in a cheap motel outside town. I thought that'd be it. But then Wes called me. From jail. He said, "You think you won? I've got nothing to lose now. You took everything from me." I didn't hang up. I just listened. Let him talk. Because I was already planning the next move. He thought I'd ruined his life. But the truth? He'd just given me everything I needed to destroy what little he had left. After the jail call, I couldn't sleep. I sat at the kitchen table, lights off, listening to the creaks of the old house and Mason's soft breathing through the baby monitor Kelly had set up in the hallway. I kept thinking about what Wes said. "You took everything from me." I started wondering if he was planning something worse. Something stupid. I knew he wasn't just angry, he was unraveling. The next day, I went to the police station. I told them about the call. The officer said it was recorded, but unless he made a direct threat, they couldn't do much more than they already were. "We're building a case," the officer told me. "You've done the right thing." But he knows the system. He knows how to dance just outside the line. I didn't want Kelly and Mason caught in the crossfire. I bought motion lights for the yard, a security camera for the porch, and a cheap alarm system. Kelly thought I was being paranoid, but she didn't stop me. A few days later, the twist came. Wes's mother showed up at our door. Her name's Deborah. I hadn't seen her in years. Last time was at Kelly's wedding. She was polite then, kind even. But now? She was cold. She stood on the porch with a purse under one arm and a manila folder in her hand. "I'm not here to cause trouble," she said. "I just think you should see this." She handed me the folder. Inside were printed emails, dozens of them, all between Wes and another woman. One went back almost 2 years. Romantic messages, nudes, vacation plans, and one where he complained about Kelly being dead weight and how her dad's too dumb to notice anything. Deborah said, "He sent some to me by accident. He meant to forward them to her." The other woman, I guess he clicked the wrong name. I just stared at her. She sighed. "I raised a monster. I didn't know until it was too late." She told me she hadn't spoken to Wes since he was arrested. Said he tried to guilt trip her into bailing him out. Said he blamed her now too. He said he was going to start over somewhere new, she added. That scared me. "That's why I'm here. He's not done with you." She left without asking to come in. Just gave me her phone number and said, "Call if you need anything." I can testify if it comes to that. I brought the folder inside and showed Kelly. She cried. Not for Wes, but for everything she'd buried. For every time she made excuses, every time she believed the lies. Then she got quiet and said something that stopped me cold. "Dad, what if I never left? What if he didn't get fired? Would I still be there, sleeping next to him, letting Mason grow up thinking this is normal?" I didn't know what to say, but I knew this wasn't over. Because 3 days later, we woke up to find Mason's window cracked open from the outside. No broken glass, no footprints, but it was open. That's when I made a call of my own. Not to the police, not to Deborah, but to someone I hadn't spoken to in 20 years, my cousin Ray. Ray and I grew up rough together, took different paths. I chose the warehouse and a family. Ray went into other business, the kind that doesn't get printed on resumes. We hadn't talked in decades, not since my wife made me promise to cut ties. But now, I needed someone who could keep eyes on Wes without paperwork and waiting lists. Ray didn't ask for details. Just said, "I'll find out where he is, and I'll make sure he knows someone's watching him." A week later, I got a call from Ray. He didn't give a location, just said he's planning something. Not sure what, but he's meeting with some real sketchy people. I told Ray to keep digging. Quietly. The same night, we got a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside was a single photograph. It was a picture of Kelly, taken from across the street. She was standing in the grocery store parking lot, holding Mason's hand, putting groceries in the trunk. There were no words on the back, just a date. From 2 days ago. Kelly broke down when she saw it. She said, "He's stalking us." And that was the moment I knew. This wasn't about custody, or divorce, or even revenge anymore. This was about control. And I played defense long enough. After we found that photo in the mailbox, I stopped pretending this would end through the courts alone. That wasn't fear anymore, that was a message. Wes wanted us to know he could reach us anytime. That he still had power. That no judge, no cop, no piece of paper would stop him. I called Ray. "This ends now," I told him. "I don't care what it takes." Ray said, "Then I've got someone you need to meet." He wasn't talking about some thug or fixer. Ray's been out of that world for a while. But he still had friends in quiet corners. One of them was a private investigator. Ex-military. The kind of guy who doesn't ask questions unless they matter. His name was Vic. Vic didn't look like much. Jeans, flannel shirt, gray beard. But when he talked, you listened. I handed him everything: emails, court papers, the picture, the restraining order, the old HR letter. He said, "You've got a pattern. What you don't have yet is leverage. We're gonna get that." In 1 week, Vic tracked down Wes's entire new life in Houston. Turns out he had already landed another job, fake resume and all. Different company, same industry. He used a friend's address to hide the background check problems. Claimed he left his last position due to family health issues. Real slyball move. He was renting a studio above a used car dealership under a fake name, using his middle name and a misspelled last name. Vic got pictures. Video. Audio. One video showed Wes bragging to a group of guys at a bar, "I'm gonna make sure she's got nothing left. I don't care if I have to take the kid and disappear to King, Mexico." That was enough. I called our lawyer. She said, "This is what we've been waiting for." But I wasn't done yet. Because it hit me, I didn't just want Wes to lose. I wanted him exposed. Not just to the courts. To everyone. His job. His friends. His family. The new girlfriend he'd been hiding in Houston, yeah, Vic found her too. So I made a plan. We didn't go to court right away. We sat on the evidence for a few days. First, Vic sent the video of Wes's bar rant to his new boss. From a burner account. Along with the court documents, proof of the restraining order, and the police report from the break-in. 2 days later, Wes showed up at work to find security waiting. He was escorted out in front of the entire office. But that wasn't the good part. Vic also sent the bar video and a copy of the custody battle filings to the girlfriend. She had no idea. She thought Wes was divorced already. Thought Mason lived with his crazy ex-wife and her sick father. She kicked him out that night. Changed the locks. Took pictures of his crap on the lawn and posted them on Facebook. People from his old life saw it. And shared it. Even Deborah, his own mother, commented on the post, "I warned you." Within 48 hours, Wes was jobless, homeless, and exposed. We still hadn't filed the final court documents. We wanted one last piece, the final blow. That came when Vic found out Wes had taken out a loan using Kelly's name a year earlier without her permission. She had no idea. It was in collections. We turned that over to the police. That was felony fraud. Now the courts moved fast. He was picked up on the warrant at a bus station in Dallas. Trying to leave the state. He had Mason's birth certificate in his backpack. No clothes. No suitcase. Just a plan. They brought him back in cuffs. Kelly got full legal custody of Mason. No visitation. No appeals. Judge called Wes a manipulative, dangerous risk to the child and the mother. But even then, I still felt hollow. Like something was missing. And then it came. A letter. From Wes. Mailed from county jail. I almost threw it away, but I opened it. It was handwritten, sloppy, and full of rage. "You ruined my life," he wrote. "You had no right. I'll never forgive you." I read it twice. Then I wrote back. "For words, you did it yourself." I mailed it the next day. Then I deleted his number, blocked every last contact connected to him. Kelly's been in therapy ever since. Mason's doing better. He doesn't flinch at loud sounds anymore. He sleeps through the night. And me? I got my old part-time job back at the hardware store. They welcomed me like I never left. Even gave me a little raise. Some nights, I still think about the garage. The mattress. The look on Wes's face when I swung that broom at him. But I don't regret a damn thing. Sometimes revenge doesn't come in violence or screams. Sometimes it comes one letter at a time. Sometimes it's just telling the truth. until the lies can't survive the light.